Bird on Bears fans, kind of. I think I'm pretty confused. We're gonna break this thing down together. We're going to get through this. If you haven't heard, if you're just tuning in, the Chicago Bears have hired Matt Eberflus as their next head coach. Matt Eberflus, former defensive coordinator and now head coach of the Chicago Bears. Appreciate you for tuning in and rocking with us. Hit the like button, subscribe to the page. We do this every single time, all the time. We swapped out Matt and Ryan to bring back Matt and Ryan. What? Dog, this is such a weird one. Definitely gotta look into it. Matt Eberflus. Now, I will say this, right? You can't throw shade on his resume. He's done a lot of good things in this league. If you take any solace in anything, you know he was brought in when Josh McDaniels had accepted the head coaching job for the Colts, and he was persuaded to stay on by Chris Ballard. So if you take anything from that and the fact that the guy that should have been running the Bears was not running the Bears, put in that he wanted to keep this guy, that he wanted to keep Matt around. It's not a bad, I'm saying I don't know, dog. I'm not gonna lie to you. I hopped on here because this news it's shocked the heck out of me. It shocked the heck out of me. When you look at it, Eberflus, I feel like it was a quick hire. I feel like it was a very fast hire. It's all going to depend on if he can get his OC ready. As we got the super producer Joel Holt checking in on this one. Fam, a different room every time. Were you hanging the Bears picture?
All right. Can you hear me?
Kind of, in and out.
All right, I got this AirPod. I'm making major moves in my personal life. So I was actually in the process of going downtown, shipping everything back. And my man, Pat, calls me and says, we got Eberflus. And I was like,
It's all going to come down to what OC he gets. You know what I'm saying?
This
point, now here's the thing, right? So there were, as it's being reported right now, there were multiple camps inside this Bears front office. And I guess like I said, I'm trying to give people nibbles to take at because he does have a good resume, right? But it's not the sexy name. Chris Ballard originally hired Eberflus to work with McDaniels in 2018. McDaniels pulled out. Chris Ballard wanted him to stay around. I give him credit for developing that Colts defense into a very good group. He was there, 4 seasons? He earned a 3 top 10 scoring finishes with that Colts defense. So something we want to see the Bears do. They were great at turning the football over in 2021. Something we want to see the Bears do. But
look, we know
the experience isn't there.
In my opinion, look, we know the defense is going to be fine. I'm not even worried about that.
Yeah.
Can we finally get an offense together? I mean, over the 30 plus years or whatever I've been watching the Bears, can we get a consistent offense? So the defense is going to be fine. So what coordinator is going to bring
always
in?
Been fine.
Right. What coordinator are you going to bring in? And will they stay here? Will they stay? And will you bring in an offense that's not going to walk out the door if you are successful in 2 to 3 years?
Yeah. It's interesting to see, right? It's interesting to see because here's the thing, right? The reason let's be honest, let's talk about the real reason we don't like it. It's Matt and Ryan again. It's I told
Matt
kid,
Ryan again.
I told kid, it's Matt. I said we fired Matt and Ryan to hire Matt and Ryan. He was like, dog, never.
The initials are almost exactly the same.
And I mean, listen, you're hoping this is Bizarro, Matt Nagy, Ryan Pace. You're going Ryan Poles, Matt Eberflus, maybe because Eberflus's last name is longer. You get a better version. You get the updated version. Maybe this is iOS 15 on this thing. But I mean, like I said, you know the defense is going to be good. You know that he's going to build this defense well. The two things that I do like I said on the morning show this morning, the Morning Breeze 6 to 9, tune in with that. You had similarities, a lot of similarities to him and Dan Quinn, minus the head coaching experience.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's still there. You still have that. Ryan Poles is an offensive lineman who you would hope can identify guys that play his position. And Eberflus has that defensive experience, building good defenses, understands what the defensive line is going to need. It's still there to build through the trenches. But who's going to have the final say in this? And this all comes as a for those who are just tuning in. Matt Eberflus has been hired as the Bears head coach. This all comes as a move, I believe, in reaction to Dan Quinn pulling his name out of the race. Now, I don't know if he turned the Bears down or if he just pulled his name out of the race, but Dan Quinn decided he was going to stay with the Cowboys. He wants to get a ring for the Cowboys, which is interesting, which to me means that Jerry called him and told him, hey, listen, we're going to fire Matt or we're going to fire Mike McCarthy about 2 games into the season. Just can you stick around? We're going to need a coach. We're going to need a head coach. You'll get your job.
I think a couple of things we have to keep in mind. If Eberflus, I'm having a hard time with his last name right here. I don't want to. I'm just call him Matt from now on. All right. So
Matt E.
one thing about Matt right now is I'm trusting the fact that Ryan Post had no other options. I'm trusting that is the situation because I don't believe someone that came in with that level of moxie turns around and hires this guy who that we're on the fence about and things of that nature. If there one isn't a proven track record that he can believe in, 2 there isn't a game plan for OC that we can get around and use to develop, and 3 if the other guys they had in the finalists just already had jobs, some of those people were still interviewing.
Yeah. And here's the I think that's the part that scares us, right? The quickness of it. It was like, maybe he'll go look at Bieniemy, maybe he'll go look. Whoa, we've been off the live for 10 minutes. By the way, hey, can y'all time this a little better? A 6 a.m. hire would be great so that we could talk about it on the live, man. Over 100 in the chat. Hit that like button, man. Subscribe to the page, man. Here's the interesting thing, right? If you take anything from the news of this hire, there were 2 distinct coaching camps that led up to before Ryan Poles makes this hire that were in the building. It's being reported that Polian and George wanted Caldwell badly, and Ted and the rest of the front office wanted Quinn. Poles went in his own direction. Now, you hate to do the bomb squad thing, process of elimination, by asking the guys that suck, because it can still blow up in your face. But I feel like it was one of those, like, George, who you got? Ted, who you got? Neither of those guys. All right, we're gonna go with like that's how I felt when I read that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys have sucked forever. I'm gonna pick this guy. So it's very interesting to me to see, like, this is his first big decision, but this isn't the decision that's going to shape this team. It might give the team a little more identity and more of a defensive identity, but we know it. Listen, you don't move up to draft Justin Fields to not try and build yourself up on the offensive side of this ball.
People need to realize too, the head coach is the guy that's supposed to basically set the tone. So it's not that he necessarily. I mean, the greatest example is John Harbaugh. He was a special teams coach, and now he's a great. He's a leader of men. He's put the team together. Like, it's so if Matt's the guy and he's a leader that can get things done, and he might say, "Hey Ryan, This is what I want to bring in on the offensive side. This is what we're going to do. This is the vision, because clearly he has to have a vision when, showing up at Hallis Hall. So I think all of us just wanted a more sexy, dynamic pick.
Yeah.
He might be good. He might be exactly, he might be just okay, like Dan Quinn is what he did in Atlanta. He brought in Shanahan. They got Matt Ryan going. They started, the defense was good. They had the offensive humming. They get to the Super Bowl and he blew it. And this might be, this team has enough talent where the right coaching and he gets the right coordinator in there. But we all just wanted I wanted Harbaugh, but
I agree. I agree with what you're saying. I absolutely agree with that. And then on top of that, it's even like what's mentioned in, CG in the chat. Shout out to you. He mentioned something really, really key. The development of Justin Fields isn't just on the head coach, but the staff that he hires.
It's on the staff that he hires.
Right.
Sean McDermott developed Josh McDaniels, or Sean McDermott developed Josh Allen. Not really. Brian Daboll did it.
So, but in all actuality, like, what does it boil down to? It could be a great hire for someone who manages overall. But if he gets the right people in place, we're really like, what do we really want? We wanted a coach that we felt would give Justin Fields the time and attention to develop. That's what we wanted.
Yeah. What I wanted was someone that sets a program in place that's not leaving in 2 years, even if you are successful. Yeah. I want someone that, this is a hot coordinator, he's gone. Like, oh, here we go again. Like, I don't want that.
Yeah,
not again. In terms of, we really haven't had a great coordinator.
Well, and that's the thing, right? You got to get somebody in the building that's going to be able to develop Justin Fields. Here's the thing. That's where hiring Matt Eberflus comes into play. Is he that guy? By the way, Chicago, we want to hear from you, man. We want to hear how you guys are feeling on this. Call into the show 855-908-5668. The Contender phone lines are open. Again, that is 855-908-5668. Apparently, I deleted the graphic for that. Don't worry about that. We'll get that up on the screen as well. Call into the show, man. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and rocking with us here. If you're just tuning in, Matt Eberflus has been hired as the Chicago Bears' next head coach. Now the question comes down to, what will they do from there? And it's, you know what? I'm
more concerned about the next hire, to be honest with you. Who's the OC, dog?
Who's the OC?
Let's keep it a buck. Who's that guy? Who's the guy that we can bring in for that guy? Who does Eberflus know that we can go ahead and bring into this joint? Like, at this point, Eberflus is solidified. He's the pick. If it works, great. If it doesn't, another Ryan Matt project that didn't work out. Okay,
well,
we
might have a new Lovie Smith. That's all we're getting is another Lovie. Like, good defense is going. That side is covered.
Yeah,
but can we get a coordinator? They screwed Lovie because he could never get a coordinator in here.
At the end of the day, exactly. And then you got to think of it like this: no matter how much we want to be the hot, sexy team, offensive team in the division, we're not those people. We've been a defensive team since the existence of the freaking sport.
Yeah,
I mean,
even if we did put up the first QB or whatever, he sucked. All right, listen, that turnover to INT ratio was horrible. All right, let's be honest. All right, whatever. Like we've always been a running known for our running backs in our defense.
That's
so
fine.
Us having a defensive head coach that's a DC doesn't surprise me. Yeah. Who he hires is going to surprise me. Everyone wants Daboll to come in and be the OC. I think Daboll deserves to be a head coach. I think Eric Bieniemy deserves to be a head coach. If he comes this way, if he comes this way, that means he probably didn't get the job he deserved.
Yeah,
he's not coming here now. Eberflus and Daboll do have time together. Now, here might be the strategic move with it. If you were going with Eberflus, interestingly enough, Daboll doesn't get the second interview out of all of the people. But if you were going with Eberflus in general, Eberflus and Daboll essentially have overlapped coaching-wise a couple of times. So you would think that both of their staffs that they're going to build out are going to have similar people on them, or you're going to be reaching out to similar people. So this might be a move where, hey, I believe in this guy. I believe this guy's a good leader of men. I want to get this hire right now so that we can get this guy in the room and get him building out his staff before Brian Daboll has an opportunity to build out his staff. Because right now, even Brian Poles has to know this is the more sexy pick. Or Daboll's the more sexy pick. Whatever team Daboll goes to, more people are probably going to want to flood to him as well.
Or it could be that maybe they bring him in as an OC, but give him an assistant head coach title too, with a pay raise. So
I
that's
doubt.
that's. I'm just saying, but you never. But the thing is, we need the guy that's going to be on this offensive side. I'm fine. Look, the thing that always used to confuse me is like if we're such a running, I want to be a running team and strong defense. Why didn't we ever go for a zone running blocking scheme? Like, why don't we go for some specialty stuff like that? Like. So I'll be interested to see who we bring in from whatever tree that
Yeah.
we get of the offense that we want to run. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, let's go out to the phones, man. Let's hear what the fans are talking about, man, because I feel like Chicago all had the same reaction at once. Like, the Chicago Bears have hired Matt Eberflus.
It was like
Huh?
the hell? Like, who is this?
Hey, kid, you just slowly.
Hey, when Pat called me, I was like,
That's
You
gross.
can't say the name well. It doesn't roll off the tongue.
it doesn't bring. Yeah, it doesn't.
Hey, listen, I'm glad he ain't a player. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm glad he ain't a player. Because saying Eberflus 40 times a day would be annoying as heck.
Oh no, his name would be Matty E from this point forward. I
Matty
don't care
E.
what
Hey,
nobody
he
say.
still might be Matty E, dog. He
Hey,
still
look,
might
listen,
be Matty E.
is we coining that. His name is Matty E from now on.
Matty
I'm
E.
not
Let's
saying
go,
Eberflus,
man.
dog.
Let's go out to the 773, man. We got Shay on the line. Shay, what's going on? Exactly.
Just wow. Look, I don't know how to feel about this, so I'm trying to be a little bit optimistic, but because that's how, as Bulls fans, we felt that way about Billy Donovan. So the way I look at it, I say give him a chance, see how this works out.
Yeah.
And this is a rebuilding team, so the way I look at it, what's the worst that could happen? Now, I know
end up
we
the
don't
same
want
way
to
we
hear
did.
that as Chicago Bears fans, but at this point, let's throw shit to the wall and hope it sticks.
Hey, wait. What's the
Heck
worst
of an
that can
analogy
happen?
right there,
That's
bro.
the way to look at it.
The same thing that just happened.
Hey,
We
with
fire
with
Ryan to
with
hire
Bears,
Ryan. They
with
hire
the
Matt
Bears,
to
hey,
fire Matt. Like,
you
what
gotta
the
you gotta try anything at this point.
Yeah.
But hey, this a new regime, and hopefully, they had the same success as the Chicago Bulls, man. Who knows?
Hey, I'm with you, dog. Let's hope so, man. We gonna see, dog. Stay safe out there, Shay. Hey,
For the
Phil,
record,
how he
like,
started that
Don
call was
died.
perfect. That's how it feels, dog. Like, really, like, you feel bad to say it like that, but it's just like it, and here's the thing, right? I'm not I think that dang it.
Bro, that's such a good comment right there.
Which one?
What?
Rodney White.
16 points per game the last 4 years. The only offense to be worse than ours is the Giants, Jaguars, and Dolphins. We need help fixing the offense, and we hire a coach with zero experience doing that. Facts. No, it's true, and I agree with that. But here's the one thing you also have to take into account. Almost in NFL history, no one has done it worse than Matt for that long.
Yeah.
Matt is historically bad. That is not. You have to understand. Hey, Joel, was the offense good with John Fox?
Mediocre, I guess. So it wasn't that great.
Yeah, that was still 8 points better.
That's bad. That
You know
is so
what I'm saying? That offense with Matt Nagy was historically bad. We could bring in a monkey and he might be able to call a better offense just because he's gonna keep pushing the run play because it's got the pretty colors on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's keep it going, man. Let's keep it going. Robert Schwartz on the phone, man, calling in. Robert, what's going on with you, man?
What's going on, Pat? What's going on, Joe? What's going on, Pete Kid?
What's good?
I'm not too worried about it. Just like that caller said, you got to give him a chance.
Yeah,
that's all we can do.
They hired him because Denver hired Green Bay's offensive coordinator, so they were probably getting scared, and they didn't want him to slip out the door. And to me, I would, if I was Matt Eberflus, I would bring in Jim Caldwell as my offensive coordinator. Hey, you have a plan for Justin Fields? Here you go. Here's the keys. Drive the Ferrari.
Yeah.
Let Let them flourish. Because if Rodgers is out of our division, it's anybody's division. Because I don't see the Packers doing anything, because they got a lot of money tied up with Adams, Rodgers. I even saw one of the Packers organization guys said that Aaron Rodgers is going to get traded. That's the rumor I seen. But like everybody said, even all of us, we have to fix our offensive line.
Yeah.
And that's the problem Matt Nagy had. He did not want to run the ball. When we had Walter Payton back in the day, how many times did Walter Payton touch the ball?
Touched it a lot. And we had a really good offensive line too.
Yeah.
Oh man, you went back like 3 decades though.
That's all we got.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. We made a Super Bowl appearance since then. Like, we had a whole lot to pick from. You went back 3 decades.
Well, no, he's right, because remember, in
Running
06,
the ball.
we went to the Super Bowl. We had 2 good running backs. We had a good line: John Tate, Fred Miller, Olin Kreutz, Reuben Brown, and I forget the other guy, but Garza.
Yeah,
that was a really good offensive line.
Garza.
Oh yeah, and
so
with Montgomery and Khalil Herbert, if someone's going to come in here, we should just start running the ball, because you want to take as much time off the clock if you're playing against Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers on the clock, on the sideline. Much time you take off that, the much time that you're going to win the game, because you're going to wear down that clock. You're going to wear down that defense.
Yeah.
That's the problem I have with Matt Nagy, because he did not want to run the ball. He wanted to throw it more.
Yeah.
You don't do that. You got to do a little sprinkle here, a little sprinkle there, and then you throw it.
For sure.
I would say.
And another thing,
calling in, Robert, as always, man. Stay safe out there, all right, man.
Appreciate it, Rob.
Thanks, Rob.
Bear down, man.
You guys.
I think the biggest. I was going to bring that up too. That does Eberflus bring in a cover to the Tampa defense? Because I see some comments about that. Like,
I was gonna say he runs a 4-3 if I'm not, like, the Colts run a 4-3 if I'm not mistaken, right?
Right, because the old boy in the middle is a monster. The linebacker they got over there in the Colts is like, he's killing. So like Roquan is about to like really feast. If he was doing okay now, he's about to take off.
But how does that?
So in all actuality, let's just be real, because I know there's a lot to sit here and there's a lot left to desire here. Yeah. But in all actuality, our defense in itself may get better. It may look better, and it has carried us. It has carried us for most of our tenure in the city, right? So with that being the case, we now have someone who, like, if Justin Fields just comes out and look like Jimmy G, we're going to go to a Super Bowl. Like, if that's the case,
we run the ball well. Right. Yes,
we run the ball well. We're going to go to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, but see, this could be basically Seattle. I've been saying we can make Fields morph into the Russell Wilson-esque type of player. Yeah. But to get a defense, now we don't have beast mode, but we got 2 good running backs.
That's true.
And we actually have a decent tight end. But now with the defensive side,
now you might get beast mode.
Huh?
No,
I'm saying we got 2. That's what I said. I said we don't have beast mode, but we have.
Well, Derrick Henry's kind of.
I said we don't have.
You're right, Jay. You're right.
No, nobody got beast mode.
Right. I'm comparing Seattle of the blueprint.
Yeah, I got you.
My point is that on the defensive side, we get one more defensive lineman, because now do you turn Mack and Quinn into just outside linebackers versus blitzing like defensive ends, right?
Yeah,
they fit that scheme.
You want Mack as a defensive end,
so you move him to the ends.
Yeah,
and Quinn, and then now you got to get 2 more outside linebackers probably that really.
You essentially, well, I guess this is the good point, right? What have we talked about the entire time? You've got to rebuild your defense. Mm-hmm. So now you still have the pieces in place, but now you definitely have to rebuild your defense. Which is over 200 in the chat.
200.
Which is interesting, because like here's the thing. Like I said, he's got a very similar resume to Dan Quinn minus the head coaching experience. Here's the thing that it's all about. Can he find somebody that can develop Justin Fields? Can Ryan Poles hit on his draft picks, which he has much less of them now? Can Ryan Poles hit on his draft picks to find some protection for Justin Fields? And let's be real, next season's success is based on can Tevin Jenkins protect Justin Fields on the left side, because you're probably not going to find that guy unless you go out and pay for him right now. You know, we don't know what the construction of this team is going to be. But to me right now, the thing that you had, if Bears fans, I understand this is not the sexy hire. I understand this is not the, oh my God, this is crazy. Like, why did we go? Like, you just kind of feel in the middle. You don't feel good about it. You feel more confused, right?
We don't know.
Very confused.
We don't know. There's no proven record of anything with him.
The thing that you got to hang your hat on is you have an offensive-minded guy that is running the draft with a defensive-minded guy that's going to guide him when he needs defensive picks. The Colts have done a good job at picking defenses. The Colts have done a good job at finding those pieces. He's been a part of that. That's all I can hang my hat on.
And their success in late rounds. A lot of quality Pro Bowlers. I mean, you got Kelsey and
a lot of late round success for Ryan Poles over in KC, just because they've been so successful. They only have late round picks.
Right. So for them to do what they're doing for over time, it's like the Patriots. I mean, you're always picking late anyways. Well,
so realistically, no, go ahead, Jay.
No, I'm saying we will see, because I just feel like right now they're going to make a tweak on the defense. Now we get what I've always wanted. Maybe he'll bring in that safety I've been looking for since the days of Mike Brown, ever since he went down. We have not been able to get that hard-hitting thumper that we, for years. So on the offensive side, we'll see. This second pick is going to be the second round pick is going to be. I'm trying to pull up the Bears' future picks for 2022 draft and see what they got coming up.
So I just looked up what the Indiana Colts look like last couple years, and we never thought they were trash. We thought they were always one piece away.
No,
Essentially, that's what we have now.
Cool. Yeah.
We have talent. We're way better than what our record shows. We have the talent here to be that. So we are, as a fan base,
with this talent, we've been 8-8, 8-8, and 6-10-ish, 7-10. What were we? 6-11.
Well, we've been on a decline because of pure mismanagement, and we see that, right? So, like, if we have faith in the talent that's here, if we have faith in, we've always had faith in our defense when healthy, right? When healthy, we've always had faith in our defense. If we're excited about what Justin Fields can potentially do, what our running backs and stuff do, we're not in a much different situation than he left. He really just was one or two pieces away. Now the question will be, does Ryan Poles get him those one or two pieces?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's
what it comes down to. And does he find a guy that's going to develop those one or two pieces? Because realistically, he's not in the room. He's not dealing with Justin Fields. You brought in a guy that was enticed by Khalil Mack, Robert Quinn, Roquan Smith, Eddie Jackson, Jalen Johnson. Justin Fields is a piece on the team for him. He's your quarterback. He's an important piece, but he's a piece on the team for him. We know that. So
I'm okay with that.
It's going to be on him finding that guy that wants to develop Justin Fields, that can develop Justin Fields, that can get Justin to the next step. And I hate to tell y'all this, it's going to be on the biggest part that's on him is continuously finding that guy. Because when you find that guy that does develop Justin Fields and eventually gets the Bears their first franchise quarterback ever, guess what? He's going to be a head coach somewhere. Then what do you do? That's what you have to figure out. That's what you have to find. Do you hire from within? And that's it. Like, those are the things that are going to define him as a coach. Dan Quinn was a good head coach. Dan Quinn made a Super Bowl. That's a good head coach. That Atlanta Falcons defense was good. Everybody always talks about the comeback, which of course was bad, but you forget they were beating the crap out of Tom Brady when it was 28-3.
Yeah.
Now, when you keep throwing them out on the field because you're going 3 and out in the second half because Kyle Shanahan just wants to keep chucking the ball up there, you get a little tired. Tom Brady sees a window. He starts to come back. We just saw that this weekend. Take a few years off of that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's Dan Quinn is a good head coach. Dan Quinn's problem was he couldn't replace what helped him be a good head coach.
That's interesting. This kind of Jay saying 360 saying that Trace Armstrong is Foles and Eberflus's agent.
Yeah, he's also Matt Nagy's.
Oh, never mind.
I thought there was something. Great agent, because he is getting these guys good looks.
Paid.
He good looks. That buddy
he
is
he is making his job off of literally
his check.
in the Bears, possibly.
He is earning his check. Caldwell is Bears OC. Why is everyone saying that like it's fact? He's like the third person I've said seen it.
Well, we don't know yet, so we'll see. And that's the thing. It might be that Caldwell is. They got all the guys in the room they want. They're gonna make it work.
But see that in that situation, I'm cool with that. You know why? Caldwell, ain't nobody coming to get Caldwell.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere. But he's still gonna leave because he's gonna retire.
This is the part that the Bears or the Bears fans got to understand. Caldwell could be the Bears OC, but why would he come back not to be a head coach?
How long has he been out coaching?
He was an assistant head coach in Miami for and he was done in 2019.
Yeah, I'm saying I'm not coming back to the NFL to be not a head coach.
I can't say that.
We don't know that. You can't say that. They might like those positions, you know.
And then at the same time, they may not come back to the NFL with the stress of being a head coach. It's a different level of stress from being an OC to a head coach.
Hey, Steve-O is actually speaking facts. Eberflus is related to a McCaskey, but she's not related to the family. His sister's maiden name is absolutely McCaskey. Hey, I saw that and I was like, dog, do you think George?
Are we sure?
Yeah, no, I looked that up before we got in here.
Honestly, that's
Twitter. Hey, so not related to the family, but last name is McCaskey. I said, fam, are you telling me we did an ancestry.com on this? Like George was just like, we've got to hire a cousin, got to hire somebody who knows the football ways. We're gonna get them in.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. That's all a big network. That's all a big, all those people know everybody.
She's not even. She might be related. She's not even related though. I think it's spelled different or something like that. Hey, let's keep it going to the phones, man. Let's go out to the 708. Talking to Chris. Chris, what's good? Maybe.
Well,
all right.
By the way, we got a second round. We got the second pick, third pick, and fifth. We don't have a fourth pick and a sixth pick. That's all. We have 2 fifths. There we go. Second, third, 2 fifths, and a 6th rounder in the draft coming up. So it's gonna be interesting to see what picks we get out of that. That second round pick, you can still pick a decent player in the second and third round.
Yeah.
Well, you can find gold in any round, to tell you the truth, but you can get a starter in the second round still.
No,
and maybe a good. So we'll see what
Chris, what's going on?
What's up?
What's going on with you, man? There we go. We got you through.
And the big hope.
What's good, Crit?
What's up?
What up?
Yo, baby. Hey, man, look, I had no emotion. The only thing I had going was like, I got to say that name. Eberflus.
Right.
I was like, God dang. But I mean, honestly, guys, it's hard to have an emotion about this because if we're gonna be smarter fans, a smarter fan base, we have to wait to see what the staff is gonna look like. Poles hired this guy because of the staff that he presented and has access to.
Yeah.
So if we sit there, if we relax a little bit and see what happens, then we go. Because I think all you guys said the same thing. We just need someone who can manage. We don't need the guy to run the defense or the offense or work on Justin Fields. We need him to put guys in place to do that, correct?
Yep. Right. Create a program.
Yeah. So real quick on the running part of it, guys, I hate talking about my age because I'm old, but this is not the 80s. You cannot center your offense around the running back. It's the running back position today is now like a it's an ingredient you add.
Yeah.
This is a passing league. You can't do that anymore. But anyway, sorry about that, guys, but that's what I have to say.
No, hey,
we're not saying that the running game has to be like the true focal point. It's just that there was such a lack of it, or it's smart enough to use it properly. It's like you got two guys in there. Like, the thing is, it wasn't working passing, but it was working running.
Well, right, and that's the thing. You have to have that perfect mix, because listen, the top team in the AFC got knocked out because they couldn't do anything but run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like running the ball is a very key ingredient. Guess when Derrick Henry's at his most dangerous? When all of a sudden we can't stop Derrick Henry and we can't stop the quarterback. Now you're moving through rounds. When Ryan Fitzpatrick, I always do that. When Ryan Tannehill was slinging that thing in the first couple of rounds of the playoffs last year, or when he first got out there, guess what? They were in the AFC Championship game getting ready to try and take a shot at the Super Bowl. When Ryan Tannehill's not slinging that thing, guess what? You've got a really good running back there that nobody can stop, and if he has a career day, it's still only 2 to maybe 3 touchdowns.
So I want to add this. So, I was saying how the Packers don't have a great running game. You're like, they got great running backs. When you look at the numbers, what it is how they use their running backs more effectively. They barely ran for 1,000 yards, but from scrimmage. So it's like 700 and 800 yards rushing for Dillon and the other guy. They get like 200 or 300 yards passing of like dump offs and chips. And it's like, that is where the new running game is, scrimmage. Yeah. Can you catch the ball? Can we use our running backs better? Because I'm not saying it's run, but what's wrong with halfback screens, dump offs, check downs, security blankets for our quarterback? And you can't, because all you're doing is sending out one receiver, and they're double covering Allen Robinson, which is leaving Mooney open. And that's the only option you got. Yeah. So it's like, why not have the flexibility to use the talent we have? That's all I'm saying. It's like, it's not just run, but it's utilizing our running backs better.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think the Bears definitely got to use them better. I mean, the fact that there's ever a game where David Montgomery and Khalil Herbert don't leave it with 20, 30 touches between them was a mistake, especially when you're dealing with a rookie quarterback.
Yeah, like protect the dude.
Like, hey, Matt, you ran your rookie out there to get murdered. Hey, Matt, how about you don't do that this season? You know what I'm saying? Hey, we don't want you to be Matt. We want you to be Matt. You know what I'm saying? That's what we got going on here. Appreciate you guys tuning in.
I'm trying to keep abreast on anything just in case that was true. I don't see it, fellas. So I guess we're good for right now.
Yeah, I was trying to see if there was anything about an OC hire yet. I haven't seen anything yet. Let's keep it going, man. Let's go out to Raj out in the 773. What's going on?
What's going on? What's going on, y'all? Man, I'm back here again. They got the new hiring. Jesus Christ. Now, I'm not scared. I'm just shook. You know what I mean? Because it's like what you said. Like, what happens when we get an offensive coach that Justin Fields bonds with, and he gets the line, and he gets everything that we need, and then all of a sudden, that guy is poached because somebody needs a new head coach. Yeah. And now we have to rebuild, another connection with this QB. So I'm hoping that if he does hire, he hires somebody who's loyal, who wants to build, who wants to be a part of a winning team for a long period so that we can have that offensive build. But like I said the other day, I'm just nervous when it comes to defensive coaching. Our defense isn't the issue.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you. But this is the thing, right? There's a lot of defensive coaches in the NFL that are offensively successful. You just have to, and appreciate the calling, man. You just have to build out that system. And guess what? Now we're going to see the Bills have been running like a well-oiled machine. People think that they're going to be in the AFC title game for the next 5 years versus Pat Mahomes. And if we're being honest, Brian Daboll leaving this team could absolutely change everything.
Mm-hmm. It changed Atlanta. But then again, just like Belichick is a defensive-minded.
Yeah, Matt Nagy was coach of the year with Vic Fangio.
Yeah.
Like,
and then
he changes.
But he lost his other guy though. I think Matt Nagy shot himself in the foot by the end of 2018 because what we saw was the real Matt Nagy coaching versus whatever happened in the most of the year leading up to that playoff game. Because he stopped. I think he took over play calling, so now we're back to this boring game. But I mean, Belichick, they've all look. I think the thing is Eberflus talent enough to bring in guys that work because just like a Belichick who lost Charlie Weiss, he
Yeah.
lost he got Josh McDaniels eventually. He's had a number of coordinators. He had Romeo Cornell, all these guys, but they've been able to keep continued success.
Yeah,
So
and the good thing about Eberflus coming in is Eberflus is calling plays defensively. You'll always have that. You'll have a stability on that side. You know he's going to call plays defensively. Call into the show, man. 855-908-5668. If you want to give your thoughts here, let's go out to the 404. We got Q on the line. Q, what's going on?
I'm gonna drop off briefly,
What's
fellas.
going on, Pat? P Kid, what's going on?
What's up with you, bro?
Hey, man. I'm going to just keep it 100, man. We hired a dude that was considered for the Jacksonville Jaguars head coaching job. Right? I'm not impressed. Right? And we're right back on the hamster wheel of this BS once again. 3, 4, 5 years, mediocrity, maybe one winning season. We do a little something in the playoffs.
Yeah.
We all get optimistic. It falls off. We fire everybody, right? Then we hire the same. We get right back on the hamster wheel with these underwhelming dudes who we all kind of in the back of our minds or in the front of our minds are like, yo, I don't think it's going to work out, and I don't think he's going to get the job done. But we sit here and we be optimistic, and then in 4 years from now, we'll be right back to this, just going to be talking about, I don't want to be here no more. And what have we accomplished off of it?
Yeah.
Until we change upstairs, and I'm talking about ownership and the people that are really hiring, I can't have no confidence in this. Right? This dude was down in Missouri. Missouri, at the time that he was there, the college, they were mediocre. He was with Dallas from 11 to 17. That defense was mediocre. They got rid of all them. Dan Quinn came in and made that defense better. He went to a coach team that, they had talent, right? But I think that's more a product of Frank Reich and what was going on upstairs and the team that was already built from the Peyton Manning to Andrew Luck, and just kind of plugging in some good players with that. This dude don't do it for me. I'm sorry. I think we've just retraded right back over again.
I mean, if we're gonna hold him being up for the Jacksonville job, Brian Daboll is the last standing candidate for that job down there right now.
I don't want Brian Daboll either. I don't want a guy that's the offensive coordinator that's bounced around 3-4 times. Right?
Who did you want, man?
He dropped off on. Go for
it. Who did you want?
That for me, I would have took Flores. And here's why I would have took Flores. I need a new injection of life, right? The Bears operate as a mom and pop shop. So everything got to be, I really like you, right? And like you said, wife is in the cast. No, I need a dude in there that's like, yo, no, we not doing this the right way, and I'm gonna tell you why not, right? And to be able to say in the war room, right, no, or to have that football argument. Stop bringing in these dudes that's gonna be yes men and go along to get along and keep their job for 4 or 5 years, and then we as fans on Sunday, the product is bull, right? And we got to suffer through that, paying the ticket prices and everything else.
Yeah.
So I would say this. Man. I would say this. You got to look at it this way. Ryan Pace spent so many years trying to fix the team that he didn't construct properly. So he had to fire the coach and bring in guys. He was not able to build the team like he wanted to. So you have to look at it now. This is a new GM bringing in his guy, and from the top down, creating a whole new structure. We don't know if this is the next. We don't know if this is the next Lovie Smith, or is he another Matt Nagy? We don't know.
And to your point, that's another 4 or 5 years that you sitting around being optimistic because he'll hit on picks here in the NFL, right? 7-round draft, right? Everybody hits on late round picks. right?
Not
But
really.
can you build that? Can you build that 53-man roster? Everybody got talent in the NFL, but can you build a 53-man roster, right?
Yeah.
And so while we brought in Ryan Pace, and he had to tear down from what everybody else had from before him for the regime. It's the same thing all over again.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. I mean, we
all over again, and then go ahead.
We don't know. We really don't. I mean, I don't know if it's the same thing because this guy inherits more talent than the previous GM did because everybody else was aging out. They spent years trying to fix Lovey and Jerry Angelo's team. So Ryan had to sit there, and it's funny how I can't remember the old guy's name already, but he spent time having to rebuild this team. I thought he actually got to a point where he was learning on the job and making all these mistakes. Now these guys get to take some of that talent and they get to build on it. Let's see if they actually can now build on this talent.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
Appreciate you calling in, Q, as always,
and
man.
we on that hamster wheel. Y'all good.
Hey, Q.
Oh, hey, all we can do is watch. I'm with you.
Hey, Q. Hey, what else we gonna do? That's my team, man. I'm gonna rock with them. I got 36 inches of bear hair back here.
I feel you.
Stay safe out there,
Y'all
Q.
be good, man.
Take care, man.
You know what I'm saying? Listen, what I'm gonna do? Not watch them? I'm gonna watch them. I can lie to myself and tell myself I'm not gonna watch them. Guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna watch them. It don't matter. But this is the one thing I will say, right? With Ryan Pace, there was always the if he got to pick his guy, if he got to make his moves, if the front office wasn't involved. There's no if with this. Ryan Poles made this pick. This is his pick. The front office wanted or George and Ted wanted Caldwell. No, George and Polian wanted Caldwell. Ted wanted and the rest of that staff wanted Quinn. And guess what? He went with his guy. This is his pick. He's going to have to live or die with it. It's going to be interesting to see. Let's go out to the 816. We got Ted calling in. I saw Ted in the comments. He ready to come through spicy. Ted, what's going on?
Ted.
Hey, what's going on, fellas? How we doing?
I'm all right. How you feeling?
Man?
Doing all right, man. Love the show. Love the show. Hey, I just wanted to get one thing on the air, man. I need everybody to stop treating defensive coaches as if they can't come in and run an offense. If you look around the league, you look at obviously Bill Belichick, Pete Carroll, you look at Frank Wright, you look at Staley down there at the Chargers, Quinn and his success in Atlanta.
Yep.
Defensive coordinators on average in NFL history have more of a winning percentage than offensive coordinators. And the reason for me is because when the OCs come in, they have a blueprint already set up. They have the things that they want to do. They look at the roster and they say, this is what we're going to do. They don't really have a check and balance system above them. What's above them is the GM. Most times GM doesn't have a clue about the game of football. They just know business. So I support this for the simple reason of he can focus on the defense. We have a general manager now in Poles that played with Matt Ryan at Boston College that knows how to construct an offensive line. If you look at what they did with the Chiefs, they got destroyed in the Super Bowl, and that was their main objective. Went out in the draft, went in the free agency, and they built one of the top offensive lines in the NFL.
Yeah.
So they're all taken care of. The defensive is going to get taken care of. What everybody needs to focus on is the offensive coordinator, because the OC is going to come in with his plan, but now he's going to have a check and balance, which is the head coach, and now the GM that's going to say, no, that's not how this is going to go. That's not how this is going to work. Yeah. We should adjust and retool this way to fit Justin Fields. So all this talk about, we're getting another defensive guy, this is actually one of the best hires they could have done, in my opinion.
Yeah. Hey, like I said, we don't know. The offensive coordinator is going to be the most famous offensive coordinator in Chicago. Whoever they hire.
He's about to be. Hey, listen, it's never going to be. And Ted, great call in, man. Appreciate the call.
Yes, sir.
Bro.
Yes, sir.
It's gonna be, fam. You know how we always go. Remember, we had the string of Mikes. Like it was like Mike Tice, Mike Martz, Mike. There was another Mike in there, and that's how I go with all. It's like Mike. Who was it? And the only reason I remember Mike Martz is because I always be like, who did Jay Cutler swear at? What did he say? Tell Mike Martz go himself. Okay, that one. Yeah, that was the one. That was the one. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the interesting. Like, it's gonna be interesting to see who he goes and gets, how he finds this guy, and what organization he comes from. Because here's the thing: you're not going to get an OC. This is probably like the step below OC is what, quarterbacks coach?
I would say so. Yeah.
A quarterbacks coach. He's probably gonna be your next OC is also never going to have done this before.
So that's what I don't want.
That's probably what's gonna happen. None of this process is gonna be sexy, y'all. I'm telling you right now, like because he's gonna go with guys that he's worked with before, and if guys that he's worked with before is already an OC, like he's worked with Brian Daboll.
Right.
Brian Daboll's not coming here to be an OC again. He's leaving to be a head coach. You're not going to get an OC in here to be a head coach or to be another OC. So you're probably going to get a quarterbacks coach. You're probably looking at somebody on San Francisco's staff, possibly. You're probably hearing, you know what I'm saying? Like they maybe an old head coach who's trying to find his way back into the league and make a new name for himself.
I like where Vernell's going. He's saying if Peterson could be OC, Doug Peterson. I mean, he's one. We know he ran offense.
I'll say this though: if he says Justin Fields can't play football, listen to him because Doug Peterson been right a lot on these quarterbacks.
I will go for Peterson if we get him in here.
Former head coach, dog. If we get Jason Garrett in here, I'm flipping the table.
No, Jason Garrett.
God. Oh God. Let's go out to the 262 man. My boy Ken on the line. Ken, what's good?
What up, Ken?
What's good? What's good, man? I see y'all out here. I got to call in to the show. I'm pretty excited about the coach, actually.
Really?
Surprisingly. I am. I've been wanting the Eberflus in Chicago. I had a feeling he was going to be the coach for a long time. I think I had told you before. I said Eberflus.
Yeah.
I called him before. But it all depends really on the offensive coordinator, to be honest. We know the defense, what the defense can do.
Yeah.
I have a feeling like the GM definitely could come in and put the offensive line together, possibly move Tevin Jenkins to his natural position, and we get sign a left tackle. Hopefully we get someone to help out with Jalen Johnson as well. But it all depends on that offensive coordinator. And one offensive coordinator I want, I know we keep on picking off this Kansas City tree, is Mike Kafka from the passing game coordinator for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
They say he was an option. That's something that sounds unique. He's a Chicago person with Northwestern.
Yeah.
I remember Kafka.
High school, so he definitely would play a part, and he has opportunity. Or one name I seen that I wouldn't be excited about is like the offensive coordinator for the Rams. He doesn't actually call the play, so he'd be a play caller here, but something just to jumpstart the Bears offense, just to get Justin out the pocket. It's just something to see, and also get a number one. So because Mooney is a glorified number 2 receiver, to my opinion. But
he's definitely he's not a number 1.
He's a 1B. He's good enough to be a good wide receiver, but he's not big enough to be a number 1.
Yeah, he's a 2. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with being a possession number 2 receiver. He's just not the number 1 guy. That's all.
Yeah. The only scary part about picking off that Kansas City tree in that situation is that there's no like you can't replace what Pat Mahomes does on the natural. Like I don't care what Buddy taught him. Like maybe he taught him better pocket presence, but you can't replace laying vertically flat or horizontally throwing a pass 60 yards and hitting somebody in the hands just for them to drop it in the Super Bowl. But
Peterson and I think Frank Reich all come from that tree. So, but Peterson was before Mahomes. But I would be interested in
college too, wasn't he? Huh? Wasn't Peterson in college for a little while? I can't appreciate you calling in, bro.
Doug Peterson. Well, I know he was a backup quarterback for years, and he was average in the NFL. And then he was coaching.
Didn't he coach in college for a little minute?
I don't know. But I definitely know he was under Andy Reid in Kansas City, and then he got the Philly job. So I would be interested to see if he is on the radar, but we have no idea.
It's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be interesting. Let's go out to Don as we get ready to close this one out, man. If you guys are just tuning in, Chicago Bears have hired Matt Eberflus as their next head coach. I just like what's a good nickname we going with for him?
Ebb and Flow. I don't know.
Ebb and Flow. That's not bad. That was just off the rip. Hey, let's go out to Don out in the 773. Don, what's going on?
Hey, fellas, thanks for taking my call. I've been a big fan for a long time.
Appreciate you, man.
So,
Appreciate you.
bro,
I'll be real quick with y'all. It just doesn't make sense to me why a lot of Bears fans are being real negative on our Matt 2.0. I mean, you look at Vrabel in Tennessee. Was he a sexy candidate coming up for being a linebackers coach or the DC for Houston? I don't really think so. I don't remember people being too high on him.
Yeah.
But Tennessee's in the playoff every year. They choked, but hey, they were the number one seed this past season. Look at Sean McDermott. He was the DC for Carolina. Was he the hottest name on the market when Buffalo picked him up? No, but look at Buffalo.
Yeah.
Lastly, let's look at Frank Wright in Indy. He wasn't even their number one choice. They thought they were getting Jackson.
Right. They kind of threw it over to him.
Look at Indy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So let's just give this man a chance. I understand we need to see his staff. We want to see, the talent and the teachers they put around Justin, but let's give him a chance. We get too caught up on who's the hottest name, what's the sexiest hire.
Yeah.
Let's just get the right guy in and get the Bears back to where they need to be. Thanks, fellas. That's all I had. Thank y'all.
Hey, appreciate you, Don. Stay safe out there, man.
See,
No,
Don.
I agree. You know what I'm saying? I agree. Here, the funny thing to me is like when the Bears went and made the sexy hire, Matt Nagy was the sexy hire. Matt Nagy was we got an OC in here. He's going to fix Trubisky. He's going to put a scheme out there that's going to be consistent. He's the offensive genius. Here we go. Nah. Yeah, I'm saying, and it's like Rob PT said, we're too used to always being so negative and disappointment.
Because we've been through it though, so it looks like. But like I said, are we getting the next Lovey, or are we getting another? Are we getting what's our man from that came from Dallas back in the day? From the Cowboys.
Why can't I think of his name right now?
Well, I swear, like
Coach.
Yeah, another Pitt guy. But are we getting that? So, geez, why can't help us out, folks?
He's only on a show every single week.
Exactly, like they're talking to him all the time.
Don't do drugs, kids.
Yeah. Don't get old either. Anyways, but are we getting another?
Hey, wait. Do get old. The other option's not good. Do get old.
Wanstead.
Good Lord.
Jeez, thank you.
Hey, we're in
the first
school leave now.
Mac, there you go. But we don't know.
Crazy? I kept thinking Wani, and I was like, "What's his name?"
Right. So, hey, I think we won't know anything. And this is my thing. For me, I always look for the head coach in the first 4 games. If we know we got a coach, and then I'm done with him. So, like, all right, we'll see what this guy is about. I can't do nothing but, I technically didn't necessarily like Lovey because I could see that the lack of adjustments that he would make, and it was this kind of that bend don't break rule that was irritating. Yeah. But they had the flash in the pan where they had like a couple of years.
That's the thing.
But like it was cardiac. They used to win. It was cardiac bear type win. Like, just hold on, and they pulled it out.
You'd be a little scared.
Yeah. So,
but you know why? But you know why we were scared? Because we couldn't put up more than 20 points.
Yeah, well, we always had shoddy quarterback play.
So that's the part that comes down to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm fine with Eberflus building that bend but don't break defense. Let's be honest. That's really what Vic's defense was. They would gash the Bears up the field, but when you got to the red zone, you were not going to score.
Yeah. So we can't help but basically just see what they do. I'm just very curious to see what's the offensive coordinator. That's the most
that's the biggest coveted,
most anticipated hire next.
You gotta chill, bro.
Sorry.
No, not you. Said J-Bo, he gotta chill. He said Lovey's lips were always chapped. It's a fact. It's a fact. When I tell you that man did not believe in chapstick, it is a fact. You play in Chicago, you gotta keep it on. Duh, it is a fact. That's funny. Hey, it's gonna be an interesting hire, like you said. The OC is gonna be the biggest name in football, and it's gonna be interesting to see how he builds his staff, but not how he builds out the first staff, but how he builds out the staff continuously. Because if this staff is gonna be good, guess what? He's gonna keep getting picked from. That's what you gotta have. Unless you go get an old dude. Like if you get Vic Fangio to help you as a defensive coordinator or something like that, can't hear words you're saying, kid. If you get Vic Fangio to go help you as a defensive coordinator or something like that, all right, like nobody's taking Vic anymore. Vic's done.
No, I was saying everyone here is old, man. What are we talking about? Everyone that we looked at outside of our GM is 50 plus.
51 ain't old though. For football, that's normal age for a coach getting hired because you usually work your way up through the ranks.
Yeah.
You spend like 20 years as a lineman coach and then a coordinator and then a you know what I'm saying. So by the time you finally get a job, you're usually in your 40s or 50s.
Is being a GM at 36 an really that's like an
accomplishment. That means you went hard from the time you were like 18 on.
Yeah.
And for him, it's an even bigger accomplishment for me because he played football for a little while.
For the Bears at one point.
He probably didn't give up on that. I mean, he was on the Bears 2008. He was at Bears 2008 training camp.
Yeah.
He's only not been in football for maybe 10 years.
Yeah, he's probably definitely bringing a Tampa 2-4-3 defense. So
I was gonna say
I see that Marinelli connection because he worked under him.
How do you think the defense is affected?
I think you're going to see Quinn and Mac on the ends, and we're going to probably get does Bilal Nichols and now become basic instead of a 3-4 front. Now you got a 4-3 front.
You got a 4-3 front.
So I don't remember really if our outside linebacker like is it looks like the old boy that came from Denver, the linebacker. He might be done.
Von Miller?
No, not the other guy. I mean, we got him some years back. Trevathan.
Oh, Danny
Trevathan done?
Yeah,
probably. He was leading he was like leading the team in tackles for a while.
Yeah.
He might be done. So we need outside linebackers.
I'll say this too, switching a defense, because I know Bears fans are like, when we switched to the 3-4, it was tragic. Like Joel said, there was a lot of old dudes that we were trying to get out of there when we switched to the 3-4. But when we switched to the 3-4, when you switch from 3-4 to 4-3, the thing that makes a difference is if you have Khalil Mack and Robert Quinn. When you switch from a 3-4 to a 4-3 and you're like, I've got what was his name? Willie. Oh, what was his name? Buddy would get a sack every now and then tear his knee up.
We talked about that, where he jumped in the air and celebrated and tore his knee.
I can't think of his name. You know what I'm saying? Like when
he
jumped
in the air and celebrated and tore his knee. Not on the play, just celebrating.
He celebrated. He sacked Aaron Rodgers, jumped in the air, discount double check, slammed his knee into the ground, and tore it.
Yep.
Tore his ACL. Was out for the year.
I would love to see
Bears fans have been tormented, kid.
Yeah. I would like to see two big jumbos in the middle.
Lamar Houston.
I gotta go see this play now.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds horrible.
It was, but it's not that. When you've got Lamar Houston coming off of the edge, you make the switch. Very different. You know what I'm saying? When you have Robert Quinn and Khalil Mack, who at the end of the day is Khalil Mack and Robert Quinn. Their job is to get
snap.
Oh, and that's right. And we were down.
And we were down. And we were losing. And we
weren't playing Aaron Rodgers. Playing Tom Brady.
Was that Brady did it against?
He did it against Brady.
Okay.
And we were getting blown the heck out.
Hey, Aiden is right though. Willie Young was who I was thinking of. I liked Willie Young too. He just couldn't stay healthy.
Oh,
man,
snap.
I remember those. Yeah, you remember. That's the name.
I like that wasn't pretty.
Stay healthy. Pernell McPhee was nice. Couldn't stay healthy.
Pernell was Pace's first guy. He brought him over from the
Ravens. From the Raiders, yep.
From the Ravens, yeah. If they go 4-3, like I'd like to see two big jumbos. I mean, if they do something like, you already got one big one in.
Okay, all right. This is why you said Aaron Rodgers, because we did that. Was getting blown out by the Pats. Went to the bye week. Came off the bye week. Got smacked with 55 for Aaron Rodgers after that.
Yes,
that's what happened.
It's what's his name? It's the stupid Star Wars dude. That was our head coach. What an idiot!
I don't think this was Aaron Rodgers. I don't think this was Tom Brady playing. They was up by so much. I doubt this is Tom.
Bro got 50 burgered twice.
Yeah, he's always been TB12. No, that says 10 on that jersey. He did that against a backup in towards
Hey,
me. Good
listen,
Lord.
Bears fans, at a minimum, we hope we're not going down that road again. We hope that we can find some nice guys, especially, and we hope that this hire works out. I mean, at the end of the day, I think the Bears do have some good pieces in place. You still gotta get you still gotta finish the job. This is the start of the job. You
Gotta
have
finish the
to
job, Pat.
find your offensive coordinator, find your quarterbacks coach, build out your staff, and grow this thing. Now, if you're able to grow this thing, it's going to be interesting to see. But it feels like it's an uphill battle right now, and we're all questioning whether he's the right guy to climb this hill. And so we're gonna see at the end of it, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us as always, man. At some point today, we got to go do some regular people work.
Yeah, I
Uh,
got it.
Oh,
I got it.
that's right now for me, you all. I'll holler at you all a little
as
later.
always, man. It's your Pat the Designer back at it again, joined by the pettiest man alive and the super producer Jay Holt. Y'all stay safe out there, man.